So welcome to our Build a Career in Permanent Makeup and Microblading event for National Career Week. So we thought we'd really like to do something about a webinar about what you might be thinking when you're thinking about doing a career in permanent makeup and microblading, how we've got into it, how we've built our careers. So I am Naomi O'Hara and I am the training director for the Clinical Academy. And I would like to introduce a couple of people who I'm going to be talking to today about their journey, training with us, training with other people, and how they've kind of gotten on really to give you the best advice possible. So I have been doing permanent makeup for 16 years. I started it in 2005 where I learned the basics, the fundamentals of eyebrows, eyeliner and lips, and I very quickly developed a love for it and decided that I wanted to train in the medical side of things as well. So I went into areola and nipple tattooing, I went into scar camouflage, micro needling, scalp tattooing, and I love it. I love how diverse it is. I love the people that I meet, and now I split my time very much 50-50 between training other people and overseeing the trainers in our clinic, in our academy, the Clinical Academy, and doing my own private clients. And I have to say, I love both areas. I think I'd find it really tough if I had to pick one, either training or treatments. But I love the fact that my treatments keep me current and they make me very much at the forefront of the industry for our training, because I'm still doing treatments. So when I say to you, when you're in my class, this has happened or this has happened, then actually it's actually happened to me very recently, or you say to me, this is happening to me, I probably can put myself in your shoes because I'm doing treatments myself. So let me introduce to you our first person that we're going to be speaking to today, Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa Shaw. Welcome. Now, you are very close to us in location, to the Academy, and you have trained with us. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been doing permanent makeup and why you love it and how you got into it.
So basically, I've been a beauty therapist for probably about 12-13 years now, I think, maybe even a little bit longer. And I decided after having my first child that I wanted to get my eyebrows tattooed. That's how it started. So I used to take him swimming a lot, and I was tinting my eyebrows or hennaing them, and I'd go swimming and then look naked afterwards, and it took me a long time to build up confidence. And then I saw somebody's eyebrows and I said to my friend, where did you get those done? And she had them done by somebody who actually trained with Naomi. So I went and had my eyebrows done by this girl, and then I said to her, I hope you don't mind me asking, but where did you train? I'd really like to get into this. This is something that I'd really like to focus on. And that was it. And then I was there, I was bam, straight in. Got myself a little business line, and I'd signed up for the gold course. So the same as Naomi, I have done all of the medical tattooing now as well. And yeah, that was it. I love it. It's one of the best things I've ever done. It has its trials and tribulations. You have your ups and your downs. It's like an emotional roller coaster. But it's amazing. I love it. And the sort of family now of PMU is so big, and I think that it's so different to just the normal sort of beauty industry. Everybody's so friendly, everybody's willing to share and willing to help, and I love it. Yeah. Good.
And then our second person who we're going to be chatting to today, Claire Scullion. Welcome.
Hi. Can you see me?
Hello. I can't see you, but that's okay. We can hear you. If you're not, then try. I don't know if you're on your phone. Try and push your camera button. It will say share webcam at the bottom. I'm not. Or are you on a laptop?
No, I'm on the laptop. Yeah.
Okay. Down on the bottom of my screen, there's a microphone and then a camera button. If you push the camera button, it says to share the web camera, but it doesn't matter. If not, we can hear you, so that's fine. So Claire, tell us a little bit about how long have you been doing permanent makeup and how you got into it and why you love it?
Okay, well, I absolutely do love it. So I have been in the industry now for well over 20 years. And I started off before I even left school. At 16, I was working in a little salon, and it was my aunt that I lived with. She noticed that I was obsessed by doing makeup and especially my eyebrows. And this salon that she went to in her local village, she said, my niece is fantastic at doing makeup, but especially her eyebrows. And the owner of the salon had said, well, I need a receptionist and someone to train up. So I went for the interview and she let me do her eyebrows. And I was just tweezing her eyebrows at the time. And she said, okay, I'm going to show you how to wax and I'm going to show you how to tint. And that was it for me. Oh my goodness, I was like, I so want to do this. So for years, I was a beauty therapist to start off with. And I got really well known in Belfast as in the eyebrow queen, doing eyebrows. And we're talking just eyebrow waxing, eyebrow tinting, eyebrow shaping. And when I moved over to Scotland in 2014, I said to myself, okay, I've pretty much done everything in the beauty industry, the beauty field. I've worked in spas, I've worked on cruise ships, I've worked in salons, I've done everything that I needed to do. So I basically decided I really want to go into microblading, permanent makeup, and I wanted to go down the road of the medical side of it as well. So in end of 2014, 2015, I then looked into it, and there was a course running in Scotland, and I went on it. And that was it for me. I knew this is my path. This is what I want to do.
Brilliant. Thank you. Well, I think a lot of you have heard my story, but I will say it again. So I found myself in a situation where I had a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old little boy, and I was on my own with them, and I was running 2 spas at the time, so I definitely came from the beauty industry, but I was running 2 spas, more of a managerial role, and I discovered permanent makeup in a magazine, and it took me about 5 years to save up to actually train, and there weren't very many companies to train with at the time, but I remember sitting in my class of my permanent makeup thinking, I have spent every penny I own in the world on this training, and I have got absolutely no choice but to make this work. And I was working full time still at the time when I was training and when I was doing my case studies for my portfolio. But after about 3 months, it was about 12 weeks, I had finished my portfolio, I'd done my case studies, I'd passed my assessment, and I actually had to stop my full-time job. I actually had to quit my full-time job because I was having to put people off. I was that busy. I was having to put people off booking in, and I thought, this is what I've done this for. Why am I putting people off? So I quit my full-time job, and I have been doing it ever since. And like I said earlier, and you heard the guys say, we love it. It's really diverse. You meet loads of different people. I do get asked a lot, do you not get bored doing eyebrows all day? Well, I don't do eyebrows all day for a start. There's loads of different areas that I treat. But I think the main thing is that even if you did have a day of eyebrows all day, no 2 eyebrows are the same, no 2 people are the same, no 2 clients are the same. So it makes your treatment a very different treatment every single time. And for someone like me who gets bored very easily, that's really important to me. So I think that's why this industry has kept my interest for as long as it has. And so if you're someone that needs something different, different things happening every day, to keep your interest, then this absolutely, I think, is the job for you. So just a little bit about what micropigmentation or permanent makeup is, and the difference between permanent makeup and microblading. So micropigmentation or permanent makeup, or semi-permanent makeup as you might know it by, is us implanting a small amount of colour in certain layer of skin on the top of the dermis, and it shines through the skin like a shadow of colour. Now, when we refer to permanent makeup, we are generally talking about a machine. So it's a bit like a tattooist machine or a digital machine, rotary machine, and you put your disposable needle in here. Your machine is all covered to protect your client from cross-contamination, and all of that is obviously in the training. And you are delivering the colour, whether that's in a hair stroke or in an areola of a nipple for medical tattooing, or in shading for lips or any area. You're implanting that colour with a digital machine. Microblading, you can do shading, you can do hair strokes. We generally only use microblades for eyebrows, and that is a hand tool method. So you're still delivering that ink or that pigment into the skin in the same layer that you would be with your machine, but it is done with a hand tool. So quite different ways of delivering the pigment. So that's the difference. And sometimes when we get phone calls, people saying, I want to do microblading, what they actually mean is permanent makeup. And other people, when they're talking about, I want to do permanent makeup, they're actually talking about microblading. So just so you're very clear on the difference between permanent makeup and microblading. So I really love the fact that it is a art and a science in equal measures. I think that, again, it helps me keep my interest. Vanessa, tell me, why do you think someone should consider a career in permanent makeup or microblading? What do you think would be the benefit of considering, especially from your background being a beauty therapist? What made you think, okay, I need to do something else?
Well, I think that the industry is changing all the time, and I mean, even the PMU world is changing constantly too. But I think clients are really wanting something more permanent. Tint isn't enough anymore. I did a henna course too, and that's not enough. It's a stepping stone, but they want more. And if you aren't able to deliver that, you're losing out on potential extra income. From my sort of experience as well, is I was really fortunate because I had all of those clients from the beauty side. Most of them were like, right, I want to have my brows tattooed. I trust you. You've been doing my eyebrow tint for 7 years or whatever it is, and they trust you straight away. You're not having to build or gain new clients or new trust, and then all of a sudden that word of mouth happens. But I do think that there is such a big calling for it now. I think that that's just the way that the industry is moving. All of those advanced treatments, aside from PMU, it just in general, level 4 and above, that is what people are wanting. Yeah,
I agree. And I think as well, even as a therapist, you want to progress as well. You don't want to be doing the same treatments day in, day out for the rest of your days. You want to progress as well. So I think that is important. Claire, are there any reasons that you think people might be hesitant to train in permanent makeup? What do you think goes through people's minds when they're thinking, I'd like to do it, but what do you think that might be that holds people back?
I think people are frightened because they probably think, oh my God, I'm going to be like a tattooist doing big, like you see tattooists in the tattoo clinics and the machines and whatnot, and they think, do I need to cover myself in tattoos to actually prove that this kind of thing? So I think for me, it's building your confidence is really important, and believing in yourself. I mean, I started off like you, I hadn't a penny to my name, and I just knew that it was the industry that I wanted to be in. And I deliberately shadowed every flipping teacher I could shadow, every therapist that I could shadow that had more experience than me. I was like a leech on their body. I was there all the time. I wanted to know more. And my father always said this: never be ashamed of not knowing something, but be ashamed of not wanting to know. So I would ask and ask and ask. But growing up, I was really quiet and quite shy. And I knew to make it in this world, you needed to have patience and you needed to listen. You really needed to listen. So don't be frightened if you think that you're not good enough. Everybody has to start somewhere. And don't think that you have to be an artist and that you must be able to do fine art. The industry is so well adapted now. It has got all the technology that you need, but with the right tutor, that is the secret to this. If you find the right tutor, then your head no longer be scrambled with, do I go in this direction, do I go in that direction?
I agree. And I think I think we touched on it as well, Claire, about the finance side of it, the money side of it. I think people are thinking, okay, I'm paying to train in something that I don't know, am I going to be good at it? So, you know, we put on things like taster days, so you can come on a day and actually do the whole of day one for £199, because when you are investing in something, especially when you're investing in yourself, and let's face it, we're generally the last people that invest in ourselves when you've got family and children and other things going on. But when you're investing in yourself, I think it's good to come and try it. Do you enjoy it? Are you hungry for more afterwards, for a fee that you're not worried about losing if you're not? And I think our conversion rate for people saying, yes, I love it, is 100% when they've done the taster day. So it's a great day to do. And I also think that knowing, we're saying about finding the right tutor, and I totally agree, knowing are you going to get the support after your training is really, really important. And it kind of brings me back to something, that I was talking to someone else about this week, about accreditation versus qualification. So we do accredited and qualification courses, but it's finding the right course for you, for where you are in the country, but also what you want to progress to. So an accredited course is something that a third-party business has read our manuals and said, yeah, we can stamp that as we have read it. We think it's good enough for our stamp to be approving it, and therefore is an accredited course. Or an actual qualification, which is a certain level. And don't get me wrong, some accredited courses have been set at a certain level, so don't get them wrong, but you need to be looking for, are they Ofqual registered? Are they a VTCT or a Sitting Guilds course? So you know their actual qualifications. Because if you want to progress to doing something like training some other people to do this, or progressing to a different level in, for example, injectables, you're going to need an actual qualification. The accreditation isn't good enough. If you simply want to be delivering treatments at a professional level and gaining insurance and a license to do this, then the accreditation is enough for you. So I think that is something that people really need to know. I feel quite strongly that people need to know whether their course is accredited or an actual qualification, and people don't, and that's a real shame. So we've had some questions sent in for people that are considering doing permanent makeup or microblading, so maybe you can help in answering those. So a question that actually I know both of you can answer, and also Katie, who is our trainer, or one of our trainers here at the Clinical Academy, so welcome Katie, saying, can I work from home? Can I do permanent makeup from home?
Yes, you definitely can.
Yeah, so I know both of you do, so go on.
I have a log cabin in my garden, but I know a lot of people that have a room in their house. So it just depends on what you're comfortable with, and also what your local council sort of suggest in terms of what you need to have in the room.
Yeah. And I think as well, it's people's unique selling point. So, yes, I am in a clinic and I get clients come to me because I'm in my clinic, but you equally get clients come to you because you're in a nice private setting, you're working from home. So I think, like you say, yes, you absolutely can work from home. You need to have a designated area for treatments. So you couldn't just put up a mobile couch in your kitchen because the area needs to be licensed, and that's not something to fear. The people that come from the environmental health to license your premises are actually there to help you, not make your life difficult. And I do think if you can take that on board and kind of strike up a bond with them, it makes your life a lot easier. So yeah, the answer to that question is absolutely, you can work from home.
Naomi,
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, I used to have a salon, so I have the experience of both. And you're right, when I closed the salon and I moved to the house, so I built the log cabin, the clients prefer the fact that it's one-to-one, these people, a lot of them I've known for a long time, and so they're coming into my home essentially. They let themselves in the side gate and sneak down the end of the garden, and they like that personal experience. So there are some people who they'll want to go to a clinic because they like that. That's almost, the word clinic sounds professional, but there's a log cabin or your home can be just as professional as a clinic. It doesn't have to be. Yeah.
I totally agree. I think whatever works for you. I like to go to work and leave my house when I go to work, but equally I can so see the benefits of being in your home and you work from home. You don't have that commute. I drive about 45 minutes to my clinic, but I quite like that time in my car to kind of get myself into my work zone. So is it lucrative? And is this market oversaturated? And this is something that I get asked on almost a daily basis. And Claire, tell me, how do you feel? Is this a lucrative business?
I've always said this in the past when, like Vanessa, I had a salon when I was 19 years of age, and I now work from my log cabin in the garden. And I honestly couldn't care less if every neighbour around me in my village opened up their semi-permanent business in their log cabin, their garden, their house, whatever. It is so lucrative, and it is about believing in yourself, and if you get the right tuition, the right education, the right knowledge, and you get the support from your council, it is so rewarding, financially so rewarding, and I love the respect that you get from your clients, and I love to make money. I'm a businesswoman at the end of the day, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I love getting up in the morning and deciding I'm going to work today and I'm going to earn good money, but I'm also going to be able to sleep at night knowing I've done really good work. And when you work with clients with alopecia, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and you see the difference from they walked in to they walk out, it is so rewarding. So you need to be able to justify your craft and value your craft at the right price, and don't undersell yourself. And there's enough people to come to everyone.
The second part of that question, is it oversaturated, kind of blends into the next question about what about competition in the area and other people doing it. So I think you kind of answered that about other people, but the oversaturated, I totally agree. And when I started, I spent a huge amount of my time educating my clients to what it was, or my potential clients to what it actually is. And they looked at me like I was crazy, like, you want to tattoo my face and you want me to pay for it? So I would be doing a lot of talks, I'd do a lot of open evenings, and all of that is time that you're not being paid for it. But now I feel there are a lot more people doing it, but there are a lot of clients, or so many more clients, who have had it done before, or they know about it. They've got a friend who has had it, or their mum has had it, or their sister's had it. So I no longer have to educate them as to exactly what it is that I'm doing. they've heard of it. I now spend my time when we have open evenings or I'm talking to clients in consultation, telling them what I can do specifically, put my teeth back in, specifically for them, rather than what this actually is as a treatment. So I think, yes, the answer is yes, there are more people doing it. Yes, you know, there are going to be people in your area, but I don't think it's a concern. I don't think it's something that makes me think, okay, we don't want any more people to be training and doing this. I think it's actually, like you say, there is enough work for everybody, and my clients are my clients, your clients want to come to you, Katie's clients want to come to her, Vanessa's clients want to go to there, and that's all for specific reasons. It's who you gel with, isn't it? It's who you bond with, who you want to do your treatments for you. So a career pathway, where can this lead? Katie, I'm going to bring this to you, who you weren't going to be speaking, but welcome, you now are. Where can this lead? Because you have started working with us as a trainer. So you trained in this and now you are a trainer. So tell us a little bit about that path.
Tell you a little bit about how
your journey went from training to do permanent makeup and microblading initially, and now you're going to be a trainer.
Okay, shall I start from the beginning?
Yes.
From when I was doing beauty originally.
Go on,
You've just thrown me in the deep end.
I
Thank you. Okay, so I'm not very good at speaking, so I apologise to start with. But I started doing beauty, doing eyebrows, doing eyelashes, and then I decided that I wanted to do something different. So I started doing microblading, and it's taken me from one step to another. Now I'm training at the academy as well, helping other people fulfill their passion of doing, you know, permanent makeup or microblading and taking their next steps.
Brilliant. So you wanted to build on your client base, you wanted to increase your revenue, increase your client base from your beauty treatments to your microblading, and then you saw a market for actually, even though you did microblading, to do machine brows, and that has now taken you on a totally different path to come and train for us, because your work is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Another question is, where do I start? So where do I start? I'd like to do this. Where do I start? No idea. So I would say I would go and visit, if you absolutely can, visit your training academy, or at least have a good conversation with them on the phone, or even now we're using GoToMeeting and Zoom so much. We've done quite a few Zoom calls with people so they can meet the trainer before they actually train. And I think one of the most important things is ascertaining, are you going to get the support after your training? So, you know, it's all very well paying for your training, you've trained, but if you have questions afterwards, are they going to be happy to answer? And are they going to be going through with you as you progress? Because that's really important. And then, as we were saying, finding out if you've got, if you're doing an accredited course or an actual qualification. For example, if you are in London, you would need the level 4, which is an actual qualification to be able to get your license. They're part of the Special Treatments Act, and you will need the level 4 for that. The rest of the country, we haven't quite caught up with that yet, so we're still able to be accredited in our certificates for permanent makeup. But for those of you who like to have an actual qualification, there is a micropigmentation and a microblading qualification that you can take at a level 4, which is the equivalent to a first-year foundation degree. So it's a really nice qualification to actually say you've got once you've achieved it. How would I promote myself? Vanessa, how do you promote yourself?
Well, I actually don't really. I'm quite
word of mouth.
Yeah, I used to a lot, and when I very first started, I really got myself out there so much, and I think that's the most important thing. When you first start, you have to slug away. Like everybody said, Claire said, you know, you could be doing something and you're not earning any money, but if you want to be successful, you have to really like plug away and just leaflet drop everywhere, like local to you, wherever you are. Get yourself on social media. I actually find that Instagram, I'm not great on social media, but Instagram has really helped to gain me new work actually. The hashtags and things like that. If you're using
Do you have a website?
Yes, I've got a website. Yeah, so
you do promote yourself. So you're kind of, what you're saying is you don't actively do it in person with your leaflet drops now, but your word of mouth is going out there all the time, and you've got a website, people can find you, you've got your Instagram. So there are all ways of promoting yourself.
Yeah, and I'm making changes. So I made my website myself originally, so it was really sort of low key, and just built it on Yola. I think they charge you something like £7 a month or something like that. But I actually have a professional site that's being made. It's just in the process of being finished now. So even now, I'm still making changes. So they're sort of like small marketing things that I do now to try and keep myself current, to make myself look more clinical and things like that. But yeah, you need to make sure that you're sort of really good, getting yourself good at what you're doing and sharing as much of your work as you can. Videos and talk, really great way of interacting with people on the social sites now. So yeah.
I had a really good question come in saying, how long will it take to earn my money back? So, you know, depending on whether they go microblading or micropigmentation. And I found in our pay-as-you-go leaflet that we can send out to people if they would like it, a bit of a sum, I suppose, that Sarah did as an example of how long it would take to pay your fees back. So we worked out that 2 clients that when we kept these figures really low because we're aware that different areas people charge different things for brows, but we based it on a brow treatment. So 2 clients a week equals a £500 return, 3 clients a week, £750 return, 4 clients a week, £1,000 return, for example. So it's actually for people thinking, how long will it take me to pay it back? So from microblading, from 4 weeks, so from a month, we've had people say, I've paid back my training after a month for microblading. You don't have the layout for a machine with microblading, they're all disposable tools, so it's quicker to pay it back. And then for digital PMU, we've had anything from 2 months to a year. So for people that have taken that much to pay their kind of loans back, or their credit cards back, or their parents back, or to kind of get a return on their investment, if you like. So that was a question that we did have come in.
Naomi, it's Sarah.
Yes, Sarah.
Philip has asked a good question actually, and I think it's one that you already have been asked. How much to charge for treatments?
Yeah. So we spoke about this at one of our refresher classes online last week, and I think that it's in our nature as people to look at what other people are charging. I don't think that's a bad thing, but then to undercut them by £5 or £10. And I think that means that you, or I feel it means that you are thinking they're better than you, or okay, I'll get more people come to me if I'm slightly cheaper. And it really doesn't work that way. So for example, I charge £450 for brows. From the day I passed my certificate, I charged £395, and I've charged £395 for 15 years. And it wasn't until my business partner in the clinical academy said to me, you need to put your prices up, that I thought, oh, okay, but it's actually really hard to put your prices up. So my advice would be, set your prices and be happy with them. Don't think, okay, I'll do that for it till I get much better at this price and then put my prices up. I don't think that you ever will. It's very hard to put your prices up. So I would say that anything from £325 to £450, if you're not in central London, is a really good price to charge. I know people in London that charge £750, £1,000 for brows, and they're doing them all day long. So don't undersell yourself. You do have to charge your worth. And I believe that if you are charging a good amount, a decent amount, people will want to come to you because of that. So definitely you'll get people that think, I can't afford that, and they're never going to be your clients. That's absolutely fine. But charge what you are worth. and you will get your clientele that are absolutely happy to pay for that. So for brows, for instance, 350 I think is a really good amount to charge. That's for both the treatments they need. You do their initial treatment, they pay up front for the whole of their brows, or they pay on that first treatment for the whole of their brows, and then on the second treatment they don't pay anything with me, and that has worked really well, because they come in, I do what needs to be done, and off they go again. They're not feeling like they're having to pay again or pay a second part of a treatment. They come in, they know if there's any tweaks that need to be made, I will do that, so I tell them in their consultation. And if the small amount, the minute amount of people that need a third treatment, just a hair stroke here and there, because that pigment's fallen out in the healing process or something, I will just do, knowing full well that I've covered my costs, and they will be happy that I've not charged them extra, and that's therefore I gain their loyalty as a client. So I would definitely recommend that you charge a decent amount for your treatment. You will not get more clients if you are less money. I can guarantee that.
Naomi, it's Sarah again.
Yeah.
Sorry. Amanda's asked, actually, realistically, how many brows would you be able to do in a day's work?
That sounds like you're setting me a challenge, Amanda. And now I would have to see how many I can actually fit in a day. When I go places like the Isle of Wight, I've got a clinic on. I probably do 6 brows a day. Here in Cosham, in my clinic, where the clinical academy is based, I sometimes start at 9:30, and I'll go till 8:30 in the evening. I'll do a couple of long days, so I can do anything from 6 brows to 12 brows, and maintenance treatments which don't take as long as well. So you know, I think it's more, my trainer said to me when I trained, concentrate on being good and the rest will come. And that was the best advice we could ever have, because actually it wasn't about kind of packing them in and having a short-lived career. It was about kind of getting good, the word of mouth will spread, and that, you know, is the best thing. Okay, so if anyone has got any questions that they want to ask, feel free. Or if you want to give us a call, I'd really love to speak to you. You can give us a call. Sarah and I are in today in the office on 0333 7777 689. Feel free to give us a call, or email us on info@theclinicalacademy.com, and we can answer all your questions. But really nice to hear your questions and speak to you. And thank you so much, Vanessa, Claire and Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and speaking with me today.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
You're so welcome. Thank you very much. Take care.
See you
Bye,
later.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.